God knows how long. Whatever I did it right, somehow turned out wrong. Is this my fate with no escape?
I can't see if I'm in camera or not, but I'm not using my selfie. But anyway, waiting for the doctor. All right, Kung Fu Cowboy here. And I got a cool shirt I want to show you. Mortal Kombat. Anyway, actually there's two stories this kind of inspires. Where did I get this shirt? Well, I got it from this Catholic church, the Borromeo Catholic Church in North Hollywood. And when I was homeless for some years, I used to go there. Once a month, you could get to going to this big, huge clothing, whatever you want to call it, like a Goodwill store, but except it was all free. And you were allowed to get like one pair of shoes, maybe two shirts, and, 2 pairs of pants. You were limited, 2 pairs of socks, but you could get all these things. And so over the months, over the years that I was homeless, I went in there regularly. And I got some beautiful, because a lot of these were dead people, I think. Let's put it this way, nobody's just going to clear their closet and give away these like $300 leather jackets, just to downsize. I don't think so. And I got some suits and formals. Somebody goes, I got this one pair of tennis shoes. They were leather and they're from Italy. And I go, these are really nice. And so I looked up online and I can get another pair. They're handmade and they only cost $236 a pair. And they weren't that worn out. They're really in good shape. I mean, I probably have to wear them for 6 months to a year regularly to finish wearing them out. So they're really, really good shoes. But I recommend this company, whatever they are, I'll recommend them. If you got lots and lots of money, you want to support people who hand make shoes still instead of shipping it overseas, it's just still maybe handmade to some extent, but a little more care and love because they got a reputation to keep in Italy. If you got that money to spend, it might be nice to support those people. Believe me, I'm still a poor person, but man, the moment I get rich, I'm going to spread my money out. I mean, to me, that's love. That's love. You can share. Love is an effort. If you don't give anything and you don't do anything, you don't have any love. It has nothing to do with words. It's actions that make love. Okay. So anyway, the church gave me love. They gave me lots of shirts. But anyway, I collected them. So that's where a lot of these shirts came from that I'm going to be playing. I decided to get some use out of them, so I'll rotate them in a podcast or something. But the other thing about this Mortal Kombat, the reason I was attracted to the shirt when I found it, was because back in the 90s when the movie came out, the very first one, I was at Kung Fu school and I advertised in the back of Kung Fu magazine. And the biggest, Kung Fu magazine for a couple decades, 20, 30 years. And my school was listed back there, Shaolin Mantis in Utah. Where'd they list us? They may have listed us by state, and I was in Utah. I was at one Kung Fu school, Shaolin Mantis. In fact, I had a TM on it, a trademark, and he said, I'm the only one in there. In fact, Dave Cater, I talked to the editor. I got to know, the people there because I was involved with them for many years. And Dave Cater, he says, you're the only one who's ever used a trademark. He says, that's cool. He says, everybody should use them. I don't know why they're not doing that. But he says, you're on top of it. That's what he told me. Anyway, so Shaolin Mantis is a trademark. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, where were we? Okay, because I was in that magazine, I'd get a lot of movie promos. And so they would send them out to martial art people. If they had to target their marketing, I was like on the top edge of their advanced marketing and pre-marketing and all this stuff. So like all martial arts schools. And so anyway, we got promo for this. So on the day it opened, I think we were there on the very day that it opened. My daughter and I were anxiously waiting in line. So it was kind of cool. I mean, I might have wanted to see it. I might have gone. And, if it was convenient, I might have gone on the opening day. But because my daughter was also excited about it, that made it more exciting for me. And we both just had this great time watching that movie. And I probably enjoyed the movie more because she enjoyed that movie too. So it was really fun. So when I saw this shirt, I go, I got that. That shirt's mine. Anyway, at the church when I saw it. And I was just this morning, I was online, and I just happened to accidentally bounce into Facebook, which I try to avoid, but I was looking for something. And I got this notice from one of these. I'm in a couple of groups that, I should spend more time on, but I don't have time to spend more time on. And anyway, one of them's a Tai Chi group, Tai Chi Connection, Tai Chi something. But, it's got, I don't know, maybe a few thousand people in it or something. So when I post something, am I mumbling? When I post something, it, hey, I put that microphone out here and I can even see it in there and it still wasn't enough to remind me to actually use it. And I didn't move my shield over here. Yeah, I'm not doing much on the sound here. That's a problem of being writer, artist, producer, director, and cameraman is sometimes as a sound man, which I'm actually very professional at. Anyway, let's see. Anyway, okay, so I went through that. I went through my daughter. That Tai Chi online thing. Anyway, somebody was saying, is martial arts for fighting or is it for your self-development or something like that? And I just thought, oh, man. So I just put in a little paragraph. And what I basically said is, martial arts equals war arts. I said, I tell my students to change the positions of the letters T and I. So now it's marital arts. And I said, marital arts should be mastered by every adult. And so that was my little thing about what the martial arts is. Martial arts means war arts. Actually, what I was going to say is everybody decides what their enemy is. That's the thing. So it's not that martial arts has different meanings. In general, it's that martial arts has different purposes to every single person who pursues it or participates in it or even looks at it. Everybody comes with a perspective of it. Okay, so where were we? Hope I'm not mumbling too much. Let's see. I feel so close to you. I'm looking at myself in the monitor. Chemotherapy. Oh, the chemotherapy is horrible. Well, actually, the radiation is still horrible. I didn't tell you. Anyway, when I was in that meeting with the lady, we were talking. And I showed her my sunburns, and she said, and she actually told me, hey, your testicles are sunburned. So that means that my sperm, my gonads, must be radiated, which means that if I have children right now, they're going to come out mutants. So I thought, maybe it'd be cool. Maybe I could have a Ninja Turtle baby. So anyway, she did check me out, and she said the burns aren't that bad. She said, so she wasn't really concerned about the burns on my butt or the rash in the front or the sunburn on the front. She just seems to think that's low key compared to what I guess it could be or will be. So, yikes. Okay. Anyway, at least people are monitoring me. If I'm in bad shape, it'd be kind of nice to know. Same with my foot. That was why I got excited about the foot. She goes, well, do you want to show me? I go, sure. And so I actually showed her my foot and the bruise. And she says, yeah, you be careful about that. But she wasn't an expert on the bruise down there, but she commented on my toe, and my toenails, curled in. And I said, yeah, I had surgery 18 years ago, and the doctor messed it up, made it worse. And she goes, you should talk to your GP and get another referral to a foot doctor. Find a better one this time. So yeah, maybe I'll get my feet looking better. But yeah, I got a curly toenail, the big toe. It's pretty ugly looking, but it looks like it's painful, but it's not. If it grows in, if I cut it too short and then it grows into the skin on top of it, it's not. So I got to let it grow up high enough that the skin can't cover it, even that curl back. So it's got to. Well, anyway, it would be nice to. I don't know. We'll see. I really don't want any more surgeries on my feet. They're really painful. Actually, they're almost painful when they do them. They spend a lot of time putting a lot of Novocaine. Your toe gets about twice the size just because they pump it so full of Novocaine. And then they freeze it. They use that ice thing, and they're freezing, and then they're cutting and stuff. And so they're maximum deadness. And then you're just sitting there watching them, hearing all this crunching. He's sawing away your foot. But, yeah, I don't want to go through that again if I can avoid it. Okay, where were we? So the chemotherapy is horrible. And she looked at it, and she says, okay, it doesn't look that bad. She looked at my hands, and she looked at my feet, and she said, yeah, she could tell us a problem. And so I just told her what was going on and updated her. Did she give me any new information? She did recommend still doing sitz baths more for down here, but cool water and stuff. For me, that's a bathtub. And I haven't actually been doing it. I explained to her that basically I take a warm shower, keeping water away from down there because heat's bad for down there. Kind of wash my hair and all that stuff. Then I go to the cool, and I try to, I don't even use, but anyway, I rinse and wash down there. I use soap as gently as little as possible, especially in the affected area. Just enough to know that I'm clean, and then using the water, the rinse, to really do most of the work and just clean, now cold water, which means in the shower I got to turn the head straight down and I got to lean forward and try to create a target for the shower head. Anyway, but my overall health is it's terrible. I can't do the walking machine. It hurts to walk. I sound like a duck when I'm walking now because I'm walking blap, blap, blap. not like this, not nice and soft and quiet. It's like it hurts so much. Anyway, and grabbing things, they hurt right now. They hurt right this second. If I stop and just think about it, it hurts a little bit. I just ignore it. But okay, so today is Friday, and yesterday, I think I had a thing online, and I was talking to my guru, my Brit music master, or Spotify master at least, and I asked him about having my pre-release for my Kung Fu Cowboy album on Thanksgiving, or the day after Thanksgiving, because he always says do everything on a Friday. Well, Thursdays, Thanksgiving, Fridays. He said, no, stay away from the holidays. He says in general, in terms of promoting and selling my music, you don't want to conflict with those things that are already have people all stressed and to have to think about seeing something new and buying it at the same time. It's the wrong time. So we're just sharing some marketing advice, that unless you're tied into the holiday directly, which I'm not in this particular case, then it doesn't make sense. Which does bring up this chemotherapy thing, though. What if, anyway, we'll see, because this chemo, okay, so, and I told him about my scheme that I've moved the release date yesterday. I told him yesterday, so we were in a group session, and he read my note out loud, so now he knows. I moved my release date to February 4th, which is my birthday, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to release a single every month. And that way I can hopefully build up a following, and I'm going to pay for lots of ads. I decided I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars. I don't know. I should probably spend thousands, but I'm going to try to be as economical as I possibly can and see if for a few $100s I can actually find my audience. So with just $10 targeting ads, I'm going to keep sending all these Facebook ads, and then I got to monitor the results until I can find an age group and a demographic, maybe even a country that likes me. I don't seem to be loved by the world as much as I think I deserve to be. I've done so many good things for so many people of all nationalities and religions even. It seems to me, you see, if karma existed, I'd be a billionaire. So karma's fake. That's fake news. Okay, so where were we? So for today, I'm finalizing my release strategies. I got to get to work on that album real soon. I'm not even sure what to do. I do have another Tai Chi class. I had a Tai Chi class yesterday. For the first time, I started to feel pain on my feet. When we were doing the circle block punch, we have to go from 180 degrees turn. You circle and you punch, then you do a circle, and then you turn 100 degrees, 80 degrees, so your whole body's going. See, the Kung Fu is not about sparring. It's all about winning. If you can win the fight in one punch, that's what you do. In fact, that's what I taught him. He's in section 5 now, and my Tai Chi beginner book, which it's really cool. You should go get it online. Tai Chi Beginner by Buddha Jan, Richard Del Conner. Chapter 5 is called Power. And so the first thing I did was I told him the story of one of my students. I tell you his name. Shout out to Dave. In fact, I told my other student, I got to look for him. I got to be able to find you. But anyway, this guy Dave, he was one of my students back in the 90s. And he had a whole bunch of parking tickets. And when he got pulled over and arrested, they said, well, you got a choice. You can pay your $300 in parking fines, or you can spend 30 days in jail. Well, not being a very wealthy person, living alone right next to me, that's how I met him. He was one of my neighbors. He said, I'll spend 30 days in jail. But he was already my Tai Chi student for, I don't know, a year maybe? He was a good student. And I wish he would have stuck with me longer, but he got in the military. Anyway, he spent 30 days in jail. Well, the first night he was in jail and they're walking him in, everybody was kind of like, waiting for the newcomer to arrive, and they're all standing there, I guess, at their jail cells, kind of watching, because he wasn't totally aware of it at the time. And as he's going in there's a certain routine that I guess everybody was expecting to happen. And there was a prisoner whose name was Ghost. I guess that's his name. And I used to see all these ghost tags around Salt Lake City, so maybe it was him, the same Ghost. Anyway, this Ghost guy came up and just went cold cock him. The guards, I guess they didn't even care or whatever. I don't know the story. Don't get me wrong about the guards. But anyway, he came up and tried to cold cock him. And so anyway, my student, being my Tai Chi student, blocked his punch and then did the move that I taught my student last night, which is section 5, which is to actually grab and then you turn 90 degrees. So now you've got them off balance. So now you can really easily break their elbow, but I hadn't taught him that. But what I did teach him was how then to lower down. Now the guy's off balance and going forward, all you got to do is lower down to a poke stance and the guy goes down right in front of you. And so he took the guy and put him down like a skateboard, you know, sailing on face first on the concrete. He said the place erupted as if somebody had kicked a field goal. He said, because he wasn't aware, I guess everybody was watching too. And the place, he said it was just, God, what an introduction to jail, to go in there, be attacked, and have the whole place just scream, you know, like bloody murder when you take down this guy and smash him into the floor. And Dave Hart's not that big a guy. He's like 5'3", 4. I don't know. Sorry, Dave. Don't mean to insult you. I don't know how tall you are, but I know you're a lot shorter than me. But anyway, there's the punchline to the story now. Okay, so what happened to Dave? Did they get revenge? What, did he live in fear? No. He was royalty. He said he's never had so much fun in his entire life. He said it was a 30-day vacation. He said everybody treated him like gold. He gave out daily Tai Chi classes or whatever little workouts. He said he was treated like royalty. So I explained to my student after I told him that story, I said, that's power. When you can capture an entire prison with one Tai Chi move, you have power. My students, wow. And then I taught him the move last night. He was loving it. But anyway, Tai Chi Chuan is so much fun. Who would have known that would have worked? Now, just to support that, another girl contacted me some years later. I taught her in a drug rehabilitation. I got all these non-disclosure agreements, so I can't say people's names, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble anyway. To be honest with you, I can't remember her name. Anyway, she was had gotten out of that drug place, but I don't think she totally changed her ways. And she was at a party where she was, I guess, sleeping over, probably because there was drinking or whatever going on. Just guessing. Didn't ask for a lot of details. But anyway, she was sleeping on the couch, and she said that some guy was just molesting her, and it was not friendly, and it was an attack. And she said she was definitely being molested. And so she said it took her a lot of work to get up onto her feet. But she said once she got her feet down, she did that exact same move that I just told you. She took the guy, I don't know, maybe she grabbed him by the head or something, you know, but she took the guy and she said she slammed him straight into the coffee table, face first. Now, a little touch, I'm not really into violence, but she didn't realize, I guess, but it was a glass table. Anyway, fight over. Okay, let's get on with our thing. But yes, as far as I know, no student of mine has ever lost a fight. Nobody's ever told me, let's put it that way. But I've had people contact me over the years and say, hey, you know, I just want to let you know that Tai Chi move just totally worked and saved my life. So how many lives have I saved? You know, only a small fraction of those people probably called me back and took the effort to tell me. Anyway, so there you go. And let me get my Tao with Taoism and get out of here. Here we go. We're on number 17. Employees and students must be satisfied with their work. Employees and students must be satisfied with their work as much as employers and teachers are satisfied with the results. See, now there's your yin and yang. That's the balance. That's the perfect balance. If the student's proud of his results and the teacher's proud of his results, you got a nice balanced harmony. If the student's proud of his results for ditching school and getting out of tests, and the teacher's not happy about it, then you got an imbalance. See? So anyway, but I like this. Let me read it one more time. We'll get out of here. Number 17 by Lao Tzu, reading from my Tao of Taoism. Tao of Taoism. Employees and students must be as satisfied with their work as employers and teachers are with the results. I love that. That's so great. I mean, some of this stuff just seems so common sense, but heck, you got to remind yourselves, and you got to look around and say, are we in harmony? Are we following these principles? You should constantly that's what philosophy's for. It's kind of like a thermometer. You can always keep sticking it in and see if everything's still, if you're doing the right thing. Is somebody doing something sickly? Okay, so anyway, Kung Fu Cowboy, Richard Del Conner, and Buddha Jen Chen Lung saying that I'm not enjoying sitting here. What is it? I feel like there's something else I want to say to you, but I don't know what it is. Get out of here. Have a good weekend, and yeah, I'm looking forward to being happy.
No, I've been strapped down for God knows how long. Whatever I did it right, somehow turned out wrong. Is this my fate with no escape? Am I in Shanghai or Hong Kong? Secret Asian girl, you're my life, you're my world. Safe house to another shelter. Is this an odyssey or helter-skelter? I've been watching people fall. I've been watching you stand tall. If you possess fear, I can't see it at all. Secret Asian girl, you're my life, you're my world. But who are you risking your life for? What is your price to say no more? How do you know who's wrong and who's right? How do you know when to run and when to fight? Secret Asian girl, you're my life, you're my world. I don't want to leave you, but with you I may die. You rescued me from evil, I'm not certain why. Although there's no one I would rather hold. As danger approaches, your heart again grows cold. Secret Asian girl, you're my life, you're my world. Secret Asian girl, you're my life, you're my